Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Building a Business, Grit and Grace, with me, Anna Angelova, business coach and consultant, and my co-host for this Thursday episode, Jores Minasvand, business consultant. Hey, Jores, happy Thursday.
Hey Anna, happy Thursday. Beautiful sunny Thursday it is.
Definitely, it's a fantastic day, and we have an awesome topic for today. So, if you listened to the previous episode that we had, like the previous conversation we had last Thursday, you know that we changed the way that we create our content. And the whole thing started from a realization I had that I got so carried away with AI and I forgot that it's a tool. And like any tool, it's not supposed to be used for everything. So after careful consideration and I was thinking about it, I realized that, I read a book a week. So why not use this as an inspiration for the content I'm creating and we are creating for the business? So last week, the book I read was Read Your Mind by Oz Pearlman, who is a mentalist. And obviously, he was on America's Got Talent, I think, a few years ago. And we don't watch TV, so I mean, we watch TV and series and some things, but not TV, right? Like we watch streaming services and things like this. So I didn't know about him before that. And this is a book for one of the book clubs I read for the Hardy Club book club. So mm, it was a decent book. And like initially, I was thinking, like the first thing that came to my mind as a topic, as inspired from the book, was what happens when you don't have a clear audience in mind. Like when you're trying to serve everyone, what happens? So was what I was thinking about initially. But then, as I was reading the book, there was one chapter in particular, chapter 4, focus on others, that really it touched me. It's kind of spoke to my heart, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good topic to talk about. So I know I made it very long, but ultimately, what we're talking about is how powerful caring is in business and in life. And one of the things I wrote about this in the blog post as well this week. So one of the things is that in business we often focus on the logic, like we often focus on the mind, the numbers, the data. What is the data telling us? What are the numbers telling us? And we forget about two other important aspects of who we are, like every single one of us as people. Like we forget about our heart, our emotions, and we forget also about our intuition. And they can be really powerful as well. And tapping into our heart, thinking about how we feel, how others feel, can be really, really useful. And I will start with one example. And like Joris, you can jump in as we continue the conversation. But one thing I was thinking about is when I'm focusing on others, like when I'm thinking about how can I help the other person, right? This is something that in the work I do as a certified iPad coach, this is what we refer as tapping into level 4 energy. And it's all about service. It's all about how can I help you? How can I serve you? What can I do to make your life better? And an easy example for me, particularly, is with sales conversations and also networking events. So when I am in a sales conversation, or when I go to a networking event, and sometimes I get in my own head and I focus on myself. I'm worried about how will people perceive me, will I be able to impress people, and all these kind of things. And in that's the case, in this kind of scenario, like I feel anxious, I feel nervous, I sweat a lot. And it doesn't help me, right? It doesn't help me. And like with networking events, for example, when I feel like this, I don't do a lot. Like I stay in a corner in a way and don't get out of my shell to talk with people. And then on sales conversations as well, right? Like in this kind of scenario, I would maybe have a script and trying to impress the person on the other side, right? Try to close the sale. And this is like one way and one thing that happens to me from time to time, and like it still happens to me. But then the moments when I approach the situation with remembering that, you know what, let me focus on the other person, thinking about how can I help the other person, whether this is a sales conversation or it's at a networking event, like learning about them. Who are they? What are they doing? Like, why are they here? All these kind of things. I feel lighter. I feel more confident. I feel more present. And I show up in a completely different way. And this is where like the power of like tapping into your heart, tapping into caring for others, because like when we shift our focus this way, like what happens is a lot of the emotions that we are experiencing and I'm experiencing, like they change, right? They change from that nervousness and anxiety and worry to compassion, to care, to gratitude, even. And when we are full of these kind of emotions, like the compassion and the care and the gratitude, there's no space left for the worry. There's no space left for the anxiety. And a lot of times, like when I'm in this kind of state of mind and when I tap into my heart and I care about the other person, I go there with a smile and I feel good and the other person feels good. And the result is completely different. So it's really, really powerful remembering that, you know, the other person, whether it's at the networking event, on the sales conversation, or maybe a conversation with a client, or whatever it is, right? That the other person is a human being. Thinking about, I know it's a cliche, but putting yourself in their shoes, that, you know, they might be nervous as well. Whether, as I said, whether it's a networking event or a sales conversation, whatever it is. So really, really powerful. And I'm learning to practice this and I'm still learning, right? I'm still, it's a journey. I'm still reminding myself when I go to these events, when I have these kind of conversations, tap into this, come from the heart. How can I really help you? How can I really serve you? Even if it means like helping you might mean that I'm not the right person for you. I'm not the right business coach or consultant. And I'll just give one example, and Joris, I'll let you chime in. Like, we just got a prospect who is maybe looking more for a mediator. So, like in this case, like it might mean I'm not the right person, and helping this prospect would mean pointing them to a mediator I know maybe. So anyway, I know I talked a lot, Joris, but I do want to hear your thoughts on caring in business and how powerful it can be when we focus on the other person and how can we help them.
Very well, well put, Anna. Um, the most important, I think you touched upon this. When you start caring and you really come out to the other person, you sound genuine. And as humans, we can see, well, I think most of us, 99% of us, can see genuine from a lie. I mean, there's a lot of companies, and I have an unfortunate uh, misfortune, I guess, of have to be exposed to working with some of them. Their motto is lie, cheat, sell. Lie, cheat, sell at any cost, sell, or else in 3 months you're replaced. Lie, cheat, sell. Throw people under the bus, whatever I have to do, lie, say things that's not true. And eventually, some people, because most people are trusting, right? They trust other people and they accept your lies, but then down the road it will come up. Eventually, it will blow up. But when you come out genuine, the other person also feels good. Like exact feelings that you just mentioned about yourself, you reflect that on the other person, and they feel the same way as well. And that then becomes from a seller buyer hunted relationship into a partnership where they actually imagine if a customer goes to other vendors and says, I want to work with this vendor because they genuinely are here to help us. If you can accomplish that, then you don't have to sell anymore. They will buy.
This is good what you said. You don't need to sell anymore. People buy when you accomplish this. And it fits very well into one of the other things that I wanted to mention is like as a business owner, right? It's amazing when you are able to do this, when you are able to see the world through this mindset and this lens of how can I help you? How can I serve you? Now imagine if you have a whole team, like the whole team is like this, like where they're focused on helping, they're focused on serving, helping each other, serving the clients, the community, everything, right? Imagine what kind of business you have in this situation, how successful you are. And again, because when we focus on this way of seeing, on this way of acting, like there is no space left for competition, no space left for backstabbing, because like and your team, they know that what you have to offer is valuable, that it's unique, that you bring something that others don't have. So you don't need to really compete, and you don't really need to care. Yes, of course, like about your competition and what's going on in the market, but you're not focused on, oh, we need to win so they can lose, or these kind of things. So having that kind of environment, like this is where we step into getting to that visionary business state, like when the whole team starts thinking like this, the whole team starts acting like this is when, and I know, Joris, like with some of the work you do with some of the teams you have, how you have that mentality, that mindset with the whole team. We are, like you said, we are a business partner. We are here to help you. And sometimes it means we step back. Sometimes it means we reduce the number of people working with you so we can help you.
Absolutely. It's relationship building, and relationship building, it's not about asking them what is your budget this year, so how much of your budget I can have. Uh, that works for one or two projects, one or two prospects. Doesn't work with everyone. If you want long-term relationship, especially uh, with people who you're going to work for years, it has to come from a caring and genuine compassion, where that you may lose one small project, but you will gain a big 3-year contract. You may lose a small, I don't know, fee on a travel or whatever, but overall you gain a lot. It's it's human nature. It's human nature. The moment you become combative, you're about 3 to 6 months before losing. Unfortunately, there are situations where the other party starts it and they start taking advantage of you. You have to be also conscious that not to take carrying too much out. At some point, you have to realize and mention to the other party that everyone is here to make money. We're all here. And just because I care doesn't mean I'm stupid. Like you can't push caring to the stupidity level, right? So be taken advantage of. And these are customers who you walk away from. And I have done that many times in the past 3, 4 years, where it's not worth working with the customer.
This is a very good point, and I want to continue a little bit on this topic because, like with everything, so caring can be really powerful. It is really powerful, especially like you said, when it's genuine, when it's authentic, when really it comes from your heart. Over caring is destructive, and this is one of the things I know as you're listening to our conversation as a business owner. Maybe you're like some of our clients, like you care so much, like you care about your clients, you care about your team, you care about your family, you care about everyone. And one of the things that happens is when we care too much, like about everyone, as I said, clients, the customers, the team, like your employees, your relatives and family, your community, like everyone else, right? What happens is a lot of times this over caring, it leads us to two things, like either we get into a situation where we go to like the mindset in experiencing like overwhelm and even burnout, right? Because like we care so much and no one cares about us. Like you said, like sometimes no matter how much you care about someone, no matter how much you want to help someone, they don't want to help, they don't want the help, or they act in a way that ultimately your reaction is like you get distraught. And like one of our clients, like she had a little bit of a breakdown last year at the end of the year. Like she was caring so much about her clients and what's going on, and she's in an industry where a lot of things are happening, and these are tough situations. So like when you overcare, it can lead to that stage of even breakdown and burning out. Or another thing that sometimes it leads to is frustration. It's like I've done this so many times for this person or this team or this client or whoever it is, and like it's the 100th time I'm explaining this, we will not understand it, right? Like this kind of like it boils, like it suddenly like it erupts. So very, very important. Yes, caring is powerful, as I said, but over caring is destructive. It leads to destructive energy. So one of the things, if you remember something from our conversation, like one thing from our conversation, one takeaway, I would definitely say build boundaries. And caring starts with caring for yourself, with self care. And again, I know this is a cliche, but you can't pour from an empty cup. So finding ways to take care of yourself, to put your well being, like one of the things we did today, right? Just before we started well, a little bit before we started recording this, we both went and did our workouts. Like part of how we take care of ourselves, part of how we make sure we stay healthy physically and mentally and all these kind of things. Like some things that I do is I don't have work things on my phone. I also close my laptop, turn it off, sometimes even to disconnect. And yes, you might be in a business where you need to stay connected. You need clients need to reach you even on the weekend. But think about how can you create even small pockets, even small opportunities, even if it's just 5 minutes for you to recharge, for you to re-energize yourself. And then again, also thinking about the boundaries, like what kind of boundaries. Maybe when it's only you, yes, like it's really hard, but there you can still have some boundaries. You can still have sometimes when you don't answer the phone. You can still implement this. And one of the things is that like we worry that, oh, if I do think these kind of things, my clients will feel like we will, will not like it or something like this. On the contrary, like when we set standards, people they rise to our standards, like when we set standards. And I know, Joris, you've said this with starting work, right? You've said it so many things. I think you've told it to your kids as well. It's when you start work that you set the standard, you set the precedence. So as a business owner, you probably care. You care a lot. Like we all care. We like, the business is our baby, and we love what we do, and we care about our clients. We care about our employees and the team. We care about our communities and the impact we are making. And sometimes we overcare. So again, if you remember one thing, one takeaway, have turn it into a habit even, something that recharges you, and set boundaries where you can disconnect and fill your own cup.
Absolutely. Set expectations. If you do a certain thing a certain way, everybody will expect you to do it that way forever. So think about what you're doing and it will affect your whatever your career or whatever your business or whatever it is down the road for the next 5 to 10 years. Because if you're thinking of doing having long-term relationships, you have to set expectations. And so be careful what you do, like you said. a lot of people don't have the capacity for care. They think just because you're caring, you're stupid, and they'll take advantage of you. So recognize that early. Take care of yourself, take care of your customers, but everything has to be within like you said, boundaries. And once you set those expectations, then it becomes a self-propelling relationship. You will be fine. Because if you do something and then set that expectation and then don't do it down the road, you're done. You're finished. The relationship is finished. So absolutely, it's very important. It's a little bit difficult, but it takes time to learn, and this is where the experience comes from. You'll probably end up like I have burned a few relationships, both in life and work, and customers, vendors, whatever. But eventually, you learn, right? And it's I think it's important to do things the right way, put the proper foundation. But I love about caring. Like they say, oh, you have to. It's good to treat people the way you want to be treated, but it's the opposite. If you care about people, if you care about your relationships, whether it's work or family or whatever, you will learn how you will learn what your customer or the other person wants, and you'll treat them that way. It's a bit difficult because if you have, like me, you're dealing with 200 to 300 people on a monthly basis. It's really difficult without an Excel spreadsheet to learn what people's likes are, who likes what, whether it's skiing or tennis or drinking wine or whatever it is that they like. It's difficult, but eventually it's something that you have to do as a to nurture your relationships, or else you won't have those long-term relationships.
Interesting that you mentioned an Excel spreadsheet, because one of the things that Oz Pearlman was saying a few times in the book that he mentioned, like one of his secrets is taking notes. Like after meeting someone for the first time, or even it might not be for the first time, when he has conversations with people, he takes notes after, no, not during the conversation, but after, like after the event, like right after the event, if possible, because like, things are still fresh in his mind. He takes notes, and when he needs to go back to like, maybe the same company or like the same place where he knows these people will be, he goes back and checks the notes. Like, like you said, did this person talk about skiing? Did maybe that person talked about their kid who plays soccer or whatever it is? So he takes notes, and don't be afraid to take notes. And it shows care. Not a lot of people do even this kind of thing. And of course, like it's a completely different topic, how to connect with people and how to really listen to people and how to be genuinely interested in people and to do all these kind of things. It's a completely different topic, but it's interesting that you mentioned that Excel spreadsheet. It's a great way to keep track of some of these things and to remember some of these things. And again, this comes from because you want to build a relationship. You genuinely care about people, and yes, remembering that, oh, this person has twins, and they do that, and that person went on vacation, all these kind of things. It's a good approach actually, and something else that if you're not doing it yet, definitely start doing it. When you talk with people and they mention some of these kind of things, put a note in your CRM, put a note wherever you want, that the next time you can check it, and genuinely be interested what happened, right? What's going on in their lives. Yeah, I think this is it from my perspective. And again, we can talk a lot about building relationships and the whole thing and caring for people. And just to wrap it up from me, and Joris, I will also ask you if you want to share your biggest insight or your biggest, or what you want to spotlight from our conversation. But I would say two things from me. So the first thing is that caring starts with self-care. So build the boundaries, build the self-care habits and routines. This is how you can keep on being that amazing visionary business owner. And the second thing is what we just talked about. Take notes. take notes so you can remember things about people and impress them the next time you have a conversation again.
Yeah. Um, from my perspective, caring has to come from the heart. You cannot fake it. If you can't genuinely care, don't fake it. Do something else. Go to become a librarian or go to the mall and get a retail job. Even then, you have to be caring, but that's a different story. Care for books and care for clothing, but uh, be genuine. And once you are genuine, most people are like mirrors. When you are genuine, they will reflect genuinely back at you, and that will just build positive forever. Genuine. I don't know how else to put it. Just be genuine.
Oh, it's very well put. Like, be genuine, absolutely. And which reminds me, if you are wondering how much of that level 4 energy you have and how to tap more into it, like if you want to tap more into it or maybe less, I would highly recommend taking the Energy Leadership Index assessment or the ELI assessment. There will be a link in the description as you're listening. There is a link in the description. Very, very powerful tool that shows you your mindset in a way, like what's your predominant mindset and how you see the world and how much of that heart energy you have and in what situations you have it. And this is something that especially when you have the debrief with me, this is what we'll discuss. So highly recommend it. The link is in the notes. If you're curious to see how much you have and how you can tap more into it, or maybe as we talked about, tap less into it. So this is it for today. Thank you for listening. We'll be back again next week with another topic. And I'm just saying that this week the book we're focusing on is fanatical prospecting. So who knows? Maybe there'll be something about sales in the next week's conversation, but we'll see. And yeah, thanks, Joris.
Thanks, Anna. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You
Bye
too.
bye.